Nick, that was a disappointing game, man. Honestly, LAFC and Colorado draw 2-2, and going into this game, we were kind of wondering where LAFC would finish in the playoff contention. They could have finished as high as 2. They could have finished as low as 4. And after this game, they stay right where they were in the 3rd place. But before we get into that, because we'll talk about that in a little bit, man, disappointing game.
Yeah, absolutely disappointing. Not what we wanted. I mean, it felt like the guys had been gone on a break, traveled back. It just, and look, I'm not making excuses because other teams had the same situation, but there was a lot riding on these games, and it sucks to see guys away for those 2 games. I mean, we lost the last game, which was an absolute disappointment, crucial 3 points. And, this is the consequence of that. However, sitting in 3rd place is not so bad going into the playoffs. You still get a home field game, which is a big deal. And you're still at the top right there. So hopefully the boys do something to turn it around and make sure that they make it to the playoffs or to the final of the playoffs like we have talked about for sure.
So let's talk about what went wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
So first, right off the bat, I don't know why we've talked about this numerous times, man. I hope that anyone who's a new LAFC fan sees why a lot of people who watch LAFC regularly or have for years understand why people don't like Dolo, because he does things even when it doesn't work, right? How many times this year has Tillman been in the lineup and it just absolutely kills the attack? This midfield has no creativity. When you rock Schwanier, Delgado, and Tillman as a trio, they don't do anything in the midfield at all. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our new videos. Now, back to the video. And yet he continues, for some reason, to play Tillman when Morin is a baller, and we'll talk about him later, comes off the bench, scores in the first 10 minutes he plays. And how is it that me and you at home watching this game know more ball than the coach, and anyone who watches this team knows Morin is better than Malik Tillman?
Yeah, it's crazy because Tillman, a lot of people are up and down on, and I haven't been super critical or of him. But this game he didn't have his best. I honestly just think it's that those 3 just don't really mesh. For me, I see a lot of flaws in Delgado personally. Again, we've seen some very lackluster passes, whatever, and a lot of people put it on Tillman because he is trying to do so much. But seeing him over Morin is absolutely just disgusting, bro. And not only that, talking about Dolo ball, it's like the first 10 minutes, we seen a lot of back passes, a lot of those back passes again. And I am so tired of seeing back passes, bro. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. It's like the team almost forgot how to play with the 2 guys because they were gone for those 2 games. So they were like, here, let me go on and send it back, and then we'll try to push it forward again. Oh, that don't work. Let me send it back again. And we weren't doing that before the boys left, And so I don't understand why we went back to that. It was 100% this was a Dolo ball game. I called it. I don't know if you remember 2-3 weeks ago, I literally said we most likely are going to fall victim of the Dolo ball. And we did. We absolutely did. And it's pathetic. To put it all on Tillman, I'm not sure I'm all the way there, but it wasn't his best game. But if you put him up top with also running where he'll be up top with Sonny and Bouanga, you're going to see flaws in his game. But not only that, just the midfield in general just couldn't facilitate anything up front, and it was horrible.
Yeah, man, and we've watched a lot of games this year, and especially just talking about the Son Heung-min games since he came to the team, because this is the team they have now. This is what we're grading.
Right.
We've seen them play 4-3-3. 5-3-2, 5-2-3, all kinds of different things. And 5-3-2 is their best formation, but Tillman's it's almost like a 5-2-1-2 or like a 2.5. Like Tillman's playing front and back. Like he's kind of doing both. And he's just not good at that, man. Honestly, him and Delgado are so similar. You can't play both of them at the same time. You need a creator. You need someone like Morin to play instead of one of those two guys. And you can just see, Nick, that the attack just dies, man. There's not a lot there. Now, Son Heung-min was able to score a beautiful goal, by the way, in the 42nd minute with his left foot. Absolutely clinical. If you saw Zach Steffen, the goalkeeper from the Rapids, he was like kind of like goalkeeper spun, where he's like looking to see where the ball went because he just couldn't believe that he was able to score from that angle. But man, which we'll talk about this later, but this is a big issue. This cannot be what they do going forward if they want to win MLS Cup.
Yeah, it's that in between that you were talking about. We don't know if he's playing that 1-2, or if he's a top three, or if he's in the mid with the three boys. And look, when they first ran this formation, it was Tillman in there, and he had a absolutely great game. We can't deny that. But when you have a player like Morin and that has came in, and now we have seen the quality of him, you're like, no, dude, that's what you should be doing. That's how we should be playing this. And so, now we are critical of what Tillman is doing in that position. So it's sort of put like that double-edged sword on him, like, yo, you're not Morin, so you gotta be better, and he's just not better at that position. So why Dolo started Tillman over him, I'm not really sure. Also, I'm not happy that Smallscoff came off of the bench. I'm not quite understanding why he isn't getting the start all the time. He absolutely should. Look, I want to say this. It also says something about where Dolo sees Ordaz or Martinez when you're starting a Tillman also, right? Like, think about it. Tillman started over Morin, Ordaz, and Martinez. So, it's like he just has really high regard for Tillman. But if you're going to have him in there, he needs to be in the midfield knowing exactly what he's doing, not in that one spot or that half spot or the third. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he needs to have full directions, and I'm in the midfield.
Yeah, also, too, I want to touch on this, which we'll bring up the stats here in a second. I thought Denis Bouanga didn't play very well today. And I want to be a little fair because him and Sonny did just play did just go on international duty, so they played 2 games. I think Son Heung-min was very good. I think as much as he could be. Denny looked a little rusty to me, man, a little tired, kind of like making some sloppy plays, not really converting on his chances, either shooting the ball into the goalkeeper's hands, over the bar, far left. Like, he just really wasn't as good as what we've seen in the past, 6 or 7 games with LAFC and since him and Sony have been balling out. So that was disappointing because it shows that even if Messi and him had been close in the Golden Boot race, like really close, he would have still lost because he couldn't score tonight.
I mean, yeah, but again, also it was already out of reach, right? Messi came home to literally play to take it over, where Denis stayed and tried to help his country. And again, you're talking about he's flying really freaking far compared to a lot of other people too. Again, not an excuse, something that all the other teams have done, but when you have Messi coming home literally to play a game, so he does win this, it is to be expected. And yeah, the boys look tired. I mean, Sonny came out at the 74th minute. You seen he wasn't happy, but you're trying to save him there. I don't know why we just didn't do that with Bouanga at that point also. You know what I mean? Like 44 touches for Bouanga, touches in opposing's box, 10, successful dribbles, 1 of 1, ground duels, 1, 3 of 5. Shots accrued 4 out of 6. I mean, accuracy 4 out of 6. And it just shows you he played 89 minutes and touched the ball 44 times. That is a tired Denis, to be fair. But more importantly, the guys in the middle weren't getting the ball to them. If you look at it, you have Son with 76 minutes, and he touched the ball 51 times. They both really struggled to get the ball because they were going back far too to try to find it, because the guys in the middle just weren't able to facilitate it.
Yeah, and in the first half, LAFC had 13 shots. 7 of them were on target, compared to Colorado having 1 shot in the entire first half. So they were just beating them down in the first half. Colorado had a .07 expected goal rate, and LAFC had a 1.16. LAFC didn't win possession. And then, Colorado had more passes. I think they had 50 more passes. I think LAFC, they just look tired, man. It's like the best way I could describe what we saw tonight was this is a tired team, and they were limping across the finish line.
Limping across the finish line. And we were just talking about how they were on such a good momentum also. That's what's crazy about this game, you know what I mean? And when you have dudes that are seriously traveling so far, it seems like this is I'm harping on, but you're going to have tired legs. Now it's important for them to get some rest, get ready for these playoffs, and they have a little time to really get their legs back underneath them and get ready, because playoffs are going to come fast and furious, and you've got to be ready, and you got to step up, and you got to play your game. And LAFC is in a great position to take it all, but can you win the big games? Can you show up when it really matters? And that's going to be the question. We've talked about this team being the most dynamic duo in MLS. Can they get back to that form that they were in before they took this little break?
Well, we have to talk about someone else, because this guy laid an absolute stinker. I think he had the worst game of probably his LAFC tenure. And I think I'm about to talk about one Mr. Hugo Lloris with a terrible giveaway to Paxton Aronson, man. What the hell was he thinking? This is a World Cup winning veteran goalkeeper. I don't know what he was doing there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. And, I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about Hugo at all. LAFC is in the position that they're in because of Hugo. They're in the standings where they are because of Hugo. He literally have saved them game after game after game. It's very, very unfortunate that happened on this particular game for them to drop these, those 2 points. They salvaged the one. But, yeah, I mean, again, bro, just – wasn't looking up, really is tired. The guy plays every game of the season, really damn near. I think he's missed maybe just a handful of games. And he's been an absolute beast for LAFC, and you really do hate to see that mishap happen. And, I mean, right away, bro, he was taking blame. Me. And it just sucked to see. You know what I mean? It really did. It sucked to see, because he has been fantastic this season for LAFC, and we are grateful. And again, I do believe, like with Son and them coming in, he's helped push us where. But if it wasn't from Hugo, we're barely in the race at this point. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth. He saved us game after game.
Yeah, I think he's not going to make that mistake twice, but it's just disappointing to see someone, because he has had such a good year, to see him make a bonehead decision like that, especially if San Diego had lost, if Vancouver had lost, and then that play came down to you guys finishing second place. That would have hurt, but it didn't come down to that. But he's not going to be I don't think he will. Let me say that, but I'm just saying he can't make mistakes like that in the playoffs, or you will lose. You could lose.
Cannot make mistakes like that in the playoffs. He knows it. He's a top tier professional, and don't think that we'll see that from him again. And I guess if it was a prop bet, more people are going to take that he would not than he would.
Yes.
Again, it's super unfortunate for the man Hugo right there.
So, I want to talk about who they're going to be playing in the playoffs, because we talked about, this is a 2-2 draw, disappointing way to start the playoff run. I can just see it in you. You're disappointed in this match. You were wanting to build some momentum, man. You don't want to go in the loss or draw ahead in the playoffs. You want to say, hey, we're the team. We're gonna punch you in the mouth. We're the team you should be fearing in the playoffs. And LAFC just showed that that's kind of, even as good as they are, they do have some weaknesses because of their head coach.
The head coach. I mean, Dolo Ball, bro. But if you remember 5 games ago, when we were talking about, we only have 4 games left, and we were talking about who we were worried about and whatever, I told you LAFC does not play well in Colorado. So I knew this was a chance. The one that really bothered me was last week or over the week day, whatever it was, against Austin. Should not have lost that game. That was a very, very disappointing game for me. This game, I mean, again, not that I wanted, but it was to be expected. They always play lousy in Colorado. I know it's just like everybody goes there. It's the altitude or whatever it is.
Elevation,
It's just,
yeah.
For some reason, LAFC never shows up. And so, yeah, super super bummer for them. But LAFC should have, they really should have been in that second place spot, but they sitting at third. And like you said, they still get a home game, which is a big deal, right? For the first half, they get a home game, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, so let's talk about that too to wrap this up. So LAFC are officially going to play Austin FC. And to any of you guys who are new to MLS playoffs, this is how the league winner is decided. The MLS Cup Playoffs. The first round in the Western Conference, LAFC are going to play Austin FC in a best-of-3 series. So whoever wins the 2 matches is going to advance to the next round. LAFC will host 2 home matches if it comes to that, right? I hope, if you're an LAFC fan, you're hoping you can beat them in 2 games. And if you're an Austin FC fan, you can hope that you can beat them in 2 games. But they're going to play Austin FC in the first round, and they have not beaten Austin FC this year. They've lost both times to them. Are you upset about this matchup? Are you cool with this matchup?
Well, now that you've actually pointed out that we lost both games, I guess I need to be a little bit more concerned. You know what I mean? And I just got done saying the game that did bother me was us losing that game, because I thought we could have won that game. I really did. But Austin FC hasn't seen us with Sonny, which is a benefit for us against them. It will be at BMO Stadium, which is another benefit. So I think LAFC walks away with the win. I don't think it's going to be easy by any chance. There's a great chance that it could go to the third game. I am hoping that is not the case. I'm hoping that we win the first game, obviously, go to their place, win, and then we have sort of that off period to get the boys rested for the second leg of the tournament.
Well, listen, it's too early for me to make my official predictions, but I will say this. If LAFC were to lose this series, it'd be a huge disappointment. They should be able to beat Austin FC. They just have a better team. They've got 2 better players, 2 of the best players in the league. They should win this series. And I will say this, though, too, Nick. At a certain point with the way they were playing, I really thought LAFC had a chance to finish first place in the Western Conference. But here's the sad part about it, man. Even if LAFC, even if they had won that game against Austin FC last week, they still wouldn't have finished first place because of the result tonight. They would have been in second place.
Yeah, which is still okay, though. It's still a road that they would have been fine with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that still would have been good. But it just, if you're a fan of that team, it hurts to know you left points on the board and you know where you could have been. Because at that point, to some of you guys who are watching that are new, if you're a higher seeded team, you will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Yeah. Now, if you're a lower seed team, now LAFC's third place, if they have to play Vancouver or San Diego at any point in this playoffs, they're going to have to play at Vancouver and San Diego on the road. It's not impossible to win. It's just it's more difficult. It's hard to play on the road. So, Nick, I'll wrap it up here. I just want to say I'm disappointed in LAFC. This is one of the worst games we've seen them play in the Sonny era since they've been good, since we've seen them cooking, right? Since they've been clicking. And it wasn't his fault. It was just collectively a bad overall performance by the coaching staff, the tactics were bad. The substitutions were way too late. Not the way you want to head into the playoffs, I think. But we'll see what happens, man. The playoffs are a crazy game. What's your final thoughts before we head out of here?
Dolo out
soon.
Yeah,
very soon.
It's coming soon, regardless of the situation. So hope that he is, he's talking about in his pressers. Oh, it feels weird because all I have is a refrigerator and a bed or whatever. Okay, bro, then let's do it. Get yourself to the finals, win the thing, and walk off like you're some hero and go on and leave and go back to Germany, because what we've seen today is not what we want with LAFC. I am tired, Will, of the back to the goalie, start over thing. I want to push forward. That's how we won those 6 games in a row. That's what I expect. I am sick and tired of saying the same exact thing over and over. Like, dude, we are not a team that wants to reset constantly. We are a team that wants to press forward. We are a team that wants to put the pressure. We are a team that wants to make teams uncomfortable. And when we do that, we are very dangerous. We are very dangerous, especially with the duo that we have. When you constantly are going back and trying to push it forward and using the formations that we're using with the wrong people, not having Smallscoff in there and having Hollingshead instead, not having Morin in there and having Tillman instead, is a shame. So just do right by us and let us get to the finals and win this thing.
I agree. I agree. We'll see what happens. I mean, listen, we still have a long way to go. It's not over by any means. It's actually just starting in a lot of ways, right?
Starting.
Nick, I appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Before we go, where can the people find your channel at? Where can they follow you at on Twitter?
Yeah, right here on the thing it says VOBG_podcast. Go check us out Mondays at 7:00 Pacific time. And yeah, man, we talk all things LAFC Black and Gold. So come and join us there. And Will, I appreciate you having me on, man. I mean, it feels a little somber today because, we lost this game. But the truth of the matter is LAFC is in a better place than they were a few weeks ago, sitting in 5th place on the borderline of 6. And they've moved up slowly and slowly. So LAFC has to buckle down. So thanks for having me on here, brother.
Hey, real quick, better place than they were a year ago heading into the playoffs. Way better spot. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. If you like this, make sure you give us a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.